Hey guys, sorry I couldn't be there today. I got called to another meeting, but I hope that you guys enjoyed your 4-day weekend. That was a little unexpected, but probably well needed and well deserved. So hopefully you enjoyed the break. This week we're going to start talking about muscles and muscular tissue and getting into different types of movements and things like that. So I've left this video for you guys to kind of go through a little bit while I'm gone, and then that way we can just pick right up when I get back on Thursday. So if you will find the next available sheet in your notebook and title it Functions of Muscular Tissue. And we're just going to list these 4 things, and then you'll need some of those worksheets that the substitute has left for you guys, or hopefully has already given you. So if you will kind of hit pause and then find the next available sheet in your notebook and come back to me, but title it Functions of Muscular Tissue. I think if I was there, you guys could probably come up with these 4 on your own. But let's just kind of go ahead and list them out. I think probably the most obvious thing that you would say is movement, which is totally correct. But we are actually going to break it down into 2 different types of movement. So we're going to go back to using some terms that we used last semester. So the first one would be voluntary movement. So if you remember from last semester, the term voluntary means you choose to do it. So an example of voluntary movement would be like me talking right now. Okay, I'm using muscles in my face to talk. I am choosing to talk. Walking would be a good example. Lifting your arm. Okay, all of these things you are choosing to do, and so they are considered voluntary movement. All of these examples that I've given you that fit into this category are going to require skeletal muscles. So those are muscles that we're probably most familiar with, biceps, triceps, your abs, those kind of things. Those are muscles that are attached to your bones. So those are the ones that are mostly involved with voluntary movement. So obviously the second choice or the second function would be involuntary movement. So these are things that you don't think about doing, luckily. So it's moving things throughout your body, but luckily you don't have to think about it. So like digestion is a good one. So your intestines, your stomach are kind of contracting and moving those muscles to help get food through your system. So that would be an example of involuntary movement. Blood pumping. Okay, you got to get blood all the way from your heart to the tips of your feet. So your heart is just a major muscle, which we'll talk about, and it's contracting to get this blood pumping throughout your body. Again, luckily, all these things we don't have to think about, or else, we'd probably be dead. So luckily, your body is controlling that involuntary movement with these muscles. So things like smooth muscles, cardiac muscles are involved with this. Number 3, it's going to help regulate body temperature. So regulate body temperature. When we're cold, the obvious thing that we would do if I was there to ask you, I would hope that all of you would yell, "Oh, you shiver." And that's correct. That's your body's way of generating body heat. So whenever you're shivering, your muscles are contracting and hopefully generating heat in order to keep you warm. Okay? And then the last one, there's a lot of different ways I guess you could say this. So you could say maintaining posture. You could say, support. Obviously, we're using all these muscles all the time. So just to sit in your chair right now is requiring muscles. To stand up requires muscles. So it's a big job just to do simple things that you don't even think about. So maintaining posture, giving you some sort of structure or support is also a function of muscular tissue. So again, be familiar with these. We got voluntary movement, involuntary movement, regulating of body temperature, and maintaining posture and support. I hope that you are enjoying this little picture here. This is a handout that the sub should have given you. So again, if you don't have this, please go to him or her and grab it for me. This you can just put in your notebook underneath those 4 functions. There should be enough space that you can have this on the same page. But when we talk about types of muscles, there are 3 types. We have mentioned this briefly back when we talked about tissues, but I wanted to kind of touch on it again just in case that wasn't fresh on our mind. So if we start here on the left, this is a type of skeletal. Okay. So like I told you earlier, skeletal this is a type of muscle that is attached to bone. Hopefully I'll have enough space here. If you go out of the circle, that's okay. It's attached to bone. So these are things that we think of when we think of muscles and somebody being muscular. That would be a type of skeletal muscle. So these are attached to bone. A couple of things about them is they are cylindrical. Okay, so meaning, sorry, I'm going out of the circle. Meaning that they are kind of like a canister, like a cylinder shape. You can see in that picture here kind of what they look like. They are multi-nucleated, meaning these are the only type of muscle that in one cell they actually have more than one nucleus. So if you can see on this picture here, all those little purple dots, obviously on your paper it's not colored, but those are the nuclei. In one long cylinder, that's one cell. So you can see that there's multiple nuclei per cell, and that's a characteristic that is distinct of skeletal muscle. So it's attached to bone, it is cylindrical in shape, it's multinucleated, it is voluntary, so I'm choosing to use these. And then the last thing again is that it is striated. And all that means is we'll talk about what exactly that is, but it just looks like it has a striped appearance. So you can see kind of it looks like they have like vertical type stripes. And that's just different types of fibers that it's made out of. Okay? So if you know these descriptions, you are in good shape for skeletal muscle. All right? Going over here to the right, this top one, this is cardiac muscle. Okay? And this is only in the heart. Only in the heart. So it's only found in the heart. Luckily, it is involuntary. We don't have to think about it. Okay? So it's only in the heart. It is involuntary. If you look at it, it also has that striped appearance, so we're going to say striated. Okay. It is branching, or if you wanted to save branching cells, or if you wanted to say like Y-shaped, you can see in the picture it's not completely straight like we see in that skeletal. It has little branches. And it also has something called, let me see if I can fit it in here, intercalated disc. Intercalated, we'll put disc right here. Okay, so an intercalated disc. And that's what you see kind of right here where it looks like a little jagged. And those are just areas where the cells connect. It gives it a little extra strength. I mean, if you keep in mind, your heart's pumping, you know, every second for your whole life. and so it needs a little extra strength. So that's why you have those intercalated discs. So cardiac muscle cells only in the heart. It is involuntary. It's striated. It's branching, and it has something called intercalated disc. All right. And then our last one there on the right, this is smooth muscle. Okay. And it is located in hollow organs. So think about like your intestines, your stomach, kind of muscles kind of contracting to get food through your digestive tract. Some blood vessels will have smooth muscle in there as well. Okay, so it's located in hollow organs. It is involuntary. We don't have to think about it. Involuntary. If you look at the picture there, you notice it doesn't have that striped look that we see in skeletal and cardiac. So it is non-striated. So it is non-striated. It's smooth, hence the name. So it actually doesn't have those stripes. And it is spindle-shaped. So, spindle shape just almost looks like you can see how this end kind of comes to a point. And then those purple objects you see, that's the nucleus. So you can see in one cell there's only one nucleus. So, you know, you could say it's uninucleated, maybe. I don't know if that's the right word. But anyway, so these are your three basic types of muscle. Okay, so I want to be sure that you know these characteristics, and if you saw these pictures, you could recognize it.